afternoon, people. Welcome to the orbital platform. It's me, GoldenNova, once again, coming at you with some sweet new custom cards. This is day 2 of our 6-day celebration of all things creativity. And we got 4 people today whose cards we're going to be showing off. How are we all feeling today? Are we all jazzed up? Not me, I'm tired. But I am excited. I am excited for stuff. Do not get me wrong. Jazz no, chazzed always. Perfect, perfect. Got tomorrow off so I don't have to party tired. Yes, yes. Me quiet? Never. My audio levels do look okay. Alrighty, let's go ahead and head on over to guest comms over here. Master Duel, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for your music. We will not be requiring your services any longer. And by any longer, I mean for the next few hours. There, got this pulled up here. And let's go hang out with Blue Gem. They've got some sweet cards for us to talk about. Close that there. This pulled up here. Alrighty. Hey, Blue Gem, how's it going?
Hi, pretty good. I just got finished organizing my binder.
Ooh.
I had a pretty good day at locals yesterday. I pulled a quarter-century secret rare, Nightmare Unicorn, Change of Heart, and Evenly Matched, so...
Ooh! That sounds crispy.
Yeah, it is.
Any other cool finds from the rest of your binder?
Nothing.
Alright. Hey, that's fair. So,
Alright.
Dragon Knights. I'm seeing them. I'm looking forward to it.
There is a little bit of an exposition I want to say before we start.
Uh-huh.
Look at the normal monster real quick.
Okay, so, initial thing, I saw the name, and I'm like, huh, that sounds like Raffaele, and then slowly scanning down.
Slowly scanning down, and in the...
Look at that. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, okay, alright, okay.
It's a lore card.
Yeah! Ooh, that's right, we're bringing some lore in for Daddy. I don't know what to tell you, he's a big dad for the rest of the for hires, I don't know what to tell you.
For lore, which is something that doesn't exist, but I want to.
Good. I'm glad you did that. Alrighty. Well, is there anything else that we want to cover really quickly before we get the timer started?
Nah, nothing until we complete it. So let's go ahead.
Alrighty. Boop. Let's go ahead and center there.
Oh wait, no, actually, yeah. All of the Dragon Knight, all the Wyverns have attack and defense that equal 28, and all of the Union Worm monsters have attack and defense that equal 22.
Oh, clever design choice there.
Yeah.
Alrighty, first up on the list we have Dragon Knight Wyvern Lancer, a level 4 Winged Dragon Tuner monster with 1500 attack and 1300 defense. If you control no monster, or if your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you can special summon this card from your hand. When this card is summoned, special summon a Dragon Knight Worm monster from your hand or deck.
Our Stratos, essentially.
You'll love to see it.
Love to see it. I actually play tested these cards. They're pretty good.
Ooh. Alrighty, next up is Dragon Knight Wyvern Bowman, level 4 Water Dragon, 1400 attack and defense. Has the same special summon effect as our previous monster. And if this card is used for...
the Wyverns.
Good. If this card is used for a link summon with one or more Dragon Knight Worm monsters, you can special summon this card from your graveyard, but banish it when it leaves the field. Okay, so this is like our link climbing / material guy.
Yep.
Okay, alright. Then we have Dragon Knight Wyvern Landworm is the next one on the list here.
No, that's just Dragon Knight Lindworm. Did
Oh,
I accidentally spell a Dragonite Wyvern Landworm?
no, it's just Dragon Knight Landworm.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. So, level 4 Earth Worm Monster, 1100 attack and defense. Once per turn, you can target one dragon monster you control and equip this to that target. A monster equipped with this card gains 800 attack times the equipped monster's level. Holy cow, that's a huge boost. You can
Yeah.
banish this card from your field or graveyard to add one level 4 lower dragon monster from your deck. And it's any level 4 or lower. Oh my god. I think
I
Dragon Link
didn't
might have found
care.
his new
This is
best
meant to
friend.
just work with Dragon Link.
I mean, it's gonna, so there we go. Holy cow. Okay, next is Dragon Knight Seaworm, level 4 water. This one's a
Do you
union.
see the naming theme I was going for with the worms?
So the Dragon Knights are like weapon names or armor names,
Yes.
and the Dragon Knight, the worm monsters are all different
Worms.
attributes.
Yes. They're all just the 4 core attributes, the charmer attributes.
Heck yeah. Okay, so once per turn, Seaworm can target a monster you control, equip this card to it. If the equipped monster would be destroyed by battle or card effect, destroy this card instead. And you can banish this card from your field or graveyard to add a Dragon Knight spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. Alright, and then Dragon Knight Arthur, that's next on our list.
Yep.
Alright.
Xyz monster.
A level 4 Earth Xyz Dragon Monster with 2800 attack and 2200 defense. Familiar.
Yeah, that's all the boss monsters.
Once per turn, as a quick effect, you can detach a material from this card, then target one Dragon Knight Dragon Monster in your graveyard, or that's banished, and special summon it in defense position, or add it to your hand. Okay,
Yep.
big body gets your resources back.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's the rank 8.
Rank 8 Dragon Knight King Arthur.
Yep.
Rank 8 Earth Dragon
And then
Xyz.
guess the naming themes of all the extra deck monsters.
Do they have something to do
With the Knights of the Round Table.
guns? Knights of the Round Table. Yeah, that's way better, actually. Let's go with that one. Alright, so yeah, Dragon Knight King Arthur, rank 8, Earth Monster. 2+ level 8 monsters are its material, but you can also Xyz summon this card using Dragon Knight Arthur as material.
Yep.
Then you can detach all material from this card. Special summon Dragon Knight monsters from your grave equal to the number of monsters you detached. Oh, okay. So just take any 2 level 4s, make regular Arthur, use its effect, get a monster, overlay that immediately for King Arthur, detach both, get 2 more.
Yes.
And then if 2 of those are level 4s, you make another Dragon King Arthur, and because the effects are not once per turn, you do the whole cycle again.
Yep.
That's outrageous. That's strong.
I do have, what's the time there?
On the clock?
Yeah, on the clock. I'm just trying
We
to
still got 10 minutes. We have plenty of time.
Okay. So, there is one specific combo that I want to do. Read Defender and Windworm.
Okay, Defender. Okay. Usual special summon effects on Defender. It's level 4 Earth, 800 attack, 2000 defense. When this card is summoned, special summon one Dragon Knight monster from your hand, grave, or banished zone. Negate its effects, then add the levels of the monster summoned with this one. You only see the effect of it. Okay, so if you summon another monster with Defender, if it's a level 4, it becomes level 8 because you add Defender's level, right?
Yes.
Okay, so there's that. And then Windworm. Once per turn, target dragon monster. The equipped monster becomes a tuner while it's equipped. You can banish this card from your graveyard to special summon a level 4 or lower Dragon Knight monster from your deck or graveyard. Okay, so you get Windworm into the graveyard. You banish it, summon Defender. And then Defender's on summon effect gets the banished Windworm back and turns it into a level 8.
Yes. I forgot that it negated the effects, and I was going to say, like, Defender plus another level 4, equip it with Windworm, and then just make Crimson Dragon.
Ah. Well, I'm glad you're not doing Crimson Dragon. At least with that combo. I'm sure there's another 100 ways to get there in this.
There's probably a way.
It's okay. It's dragons. We just have to embrace the fact that we're just going to be locking our opponent out of their own turn. That's just the world we live in.
The only spell card I really want to go over is enemies, or I think that was a trap card.
No, yeah, it's got a quick play spell.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, Dragon Knight enemies. A quick play spell card. Special summon enemy tokens up to the number of level 8 Dragon Knight monsters to your opponent's side of the field in attack position. They cannot be tributed for tribute summon, and those tokens are level 1 Dark Fiends with 0 attack and defense.
Yes.
So that would correspond to the number of leveled extra deck monsters that we have on board.
Yes.
Okay. Um, is there what's the reasoning for giving our opponent tokens for that?
To essentially keep the chain going with our wyverns.
Oh, okay, because we're giving our opponent monsters. So okay, there we go. I've now connected the dots. Thank you.
Yes.
And then we get to still punch our opponent. So let's get those damage doublers in here.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Since we have some time, is it okay if I read through the rest of these, see if we can get a broader scope of the cards?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. Dragon Knight Wyvern Swordsman, fire at level 4 dragon monster with 1600 attack and 1200 defense. When this card is, it has the usual special summon effect. When this card is summoned, you can discard a card to fusion summon a fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters in your hand or your field as material. So it's just regular polymerization, no restriction. Incredible.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a great effect. We've already gone over Windworm. Dragon Knight Fireworm. Once per turn, you can either target a dragon monster you control, equip this card to it, or special unequip this card and special summon it. A monster equipped with this card gains the effect. You can use equipped monsters you control for Link, Synchro, Fusion, and Xyz monsters. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so just equip this to a level 4 and then just use your back row as Xyz material. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Dragon Knight's Round Table, field spell card. Once per turn, you can discard a card, then activate one of these effects. Either add a level 4 Dragon Knight monster from your graveyard to your hand, or send a Worm monster from your deck to the graveyard. Okay, so it's like better Dragon Ravine for us specifically.
Yeah, for us specifically.
Hell yeah. Okay, I gotta read the lore card. I gotta read Dragon Knight King Raphael. Level 8, Light
Raphael.
Dragon normal monster.
It's pronounced Raphael because it's my custom card.
Okay, Raphael. The Dragon Knight's leader, but he doesn't want to be. He would rather be out living a life of adventure, but he will find his calling sooner than expected. And this card is always treated as a monster for hire, baby. Let's go.
I have an idea for, like, the art of it.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine, like, Raphael in, like, king armor and, like, a crown. And, like, out the window is just, like, beat.
Just calling him out like, hey, boy, hey, come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jump on in. We got an airship. You have wings. It's like birds of a feather, except not birds. It's like scales and shit. I don't know.
But yeah, like Beat's the only one. It's like just none of the other ones.
Just Beat.
Just Beat for now.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Also, the enemies they're fighting is just Dark World.
Oh, okay. So the Dark Worlds are here. Cool.
Just like this doesn't take place on like Terminus or anything. I want to like kind of step away from the tropes when it comes to making lore, but I couldn't help it. I just couldn't think of like a weird enemy archetype, so I just went with Dark World.
Hey, honestly, I like the idea that Snow gets so mad that Fur Hires caused an even bigger stink about problem-solving card text than Snow did, and being like, "You're not allowed to do that. That's my bag. I'm the one with the annoying card text. Get out of here."
Yeah.
Okay. Next we have Dragon Knight Gareth, Link 2, Dragon Link, huh? Requires 2 Dragon and or Worm effect monsters, 2800 attack. If this card is Link summoned, you can add a Dragon Knight spell or trap card from your deck or grave to your hand, and if a Dragon monster is special summoned from the extra deck to a zone this card points to, add a Worm monster from your grave or banished zone to your hand. Okay. Yep. Pretty solid recursion there.
Yeah.
Dragon Knight Lancelot, level 8 Synchro monster, requiring generic material, 2000 attack, 2200 defense, Wind Dragon Synchro. If this card is. If there is a card equipped to this monster, it cannot be destroyed by battle, and once per turn, you can send one card equipped to this monster to the graveyard, destroy one card your opponent controls. Neat. Just pop some stuff.
That was like an old card idea. I originally wanted like all of the extract monsters to have effects when like the worm monsters were equipped to them.
That's not bad. Heck, especially just like a generic level 8. You could take this into like weird strategies that like equipping stuff. Heck, maybe even Dragoonity?
Cough, I don't know. Cough, cough.
Wait, actually, I would play this in Plunder. I don't know. Wait, that's actually really good. I just gotta, not Plunder lock myself. Okay. Lastly, we have Dragon Knight Galahad, level 8 Fire Dragon Fusion monster, 2800 attack, 2200 defense, requiring a Dragon Knight monster and a Worm monster as material. Excavate the top 6 cards of your deck. Equip one of the excavated monsters to this card. This card can use its effects as if it were special summoned. You can only use the effect of Dragon Knight Galahad once per turn.
It can use the equipped monster's effect as if it were special summon.
So, like, if it equips Lancer off of that effect, you then get to search for a Dragon Knight. Or special summon a Dragon Knight from your deck.
Yes.
Okay, alright. Okay, that's a pretty cool little bundle of cards. Are there any other synergies or anything we need to go over before we break out that Nova scale?
What, other than the obvious bestial Dragon Link?
Look, as the branded guy, yes, obviously that stuff. I don't know if you had thought of anything different that we needed to make sure we talked about.
No, I didn't think anything different. I just saw like partway through when I was making it, I was like, I'm just making Dragon Link support.
Alrighty. Well, I'll go ahead and break out the Nova scale then, if you don't mind.
I do not.
Alrighty. Hey, Veginator, how's it going? Yes, it is the highlight of the ABC series Gallivant. It's Gareth. It's right there. Great pipes on that guy. Folks, if you haven't seen Gallivant...
Did I remember to make the War Monsters Union monsters?
It was like half and half. Like, this one isn't a Union.
Oh. They were all supposed to be Union.
But, like, and only Fireworm has, like, the usual text on it.
Hmm.
The rest of them just equip. Is it all meant to have, like, the usual Union stuff on them?
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and Novelty. Okay, so...
Then Union Carrier into... Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Alright, so, Novelty. Now, I grant that these cards are cool. I grant that these cards are powerful. We are doing a lot of dragon stuff here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of DNA from Dragoonities. There's a lot of DNA from, like, Dragon Combo stuff here.
Yeah, DNA from Dragoonity. One of the card art is just one of the Dragoonity monsters.
Just a lot of representation showing up here in the card arts. So, when it comes to Novelty, this isn't a slight, but it is a 1. Because it is just, like, this is more dragon stuff.
Yeah, I even with, like, the Union Worm monsters...
It does combine dragons and worms, you're right. That is something that has been done aesthetically, but not really mechanically.
Okay, yeah.
I'm trying to think how I really feel about that. I'll give it a 2.
Okay.
I'll give it 2. We got a little extra there. We'll do that.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm fine with that.
Objectivity. Now, this is where stuff gets wild. I'm already out here being Dragon Link's greatest enemy. You know, if there's 1,000 haters for Dragon Link, I'm one of it. Meme. Copy the whole rest of it in chat. On top of that, there is a distinct lack of hard once per turns on some of these cards. We've already gone over the fact that Dragon King Arthur and Dragon Knight King Arthur do not Okay, I guess they have a once per turn on there, but regular Arthur does not, which means you can use its effect twice per turn off of making a King Arthur, which off of all of that will leave you with 2 Knight Arthurs with no material. That's a free UFD for nothing, and you get all your other
Yeah.
materials. Um, See, the funny thing here is that I actually think the other boss monsters themselves are actually just fine. Galahad grabs an
Yeah.
equip and does an effect. Lancelot pops a card. Gareth is probably a bit too big for a Link 2, but outside of that, does regular Link 2 things.
If I
Combine
was
that.
to me like this card cannot attack, or like this card has like its attack halved.
I was honestly at one point being all like, these cards can't attack directly, which is why the tokens would be in attack position as like legal targets for them, and that didn't come up. So
Yeah.
I thought that might have been it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's something to think about in the future. I don't know. That's not up to me.
Mm.
But like things like the dragon level 4s being very easy to special summon and already being supported by a very strong dragon infrastructure. The worm unions being another thing where there's a bunch of really good worm support out there that these get attached to.
What's worm support? I've never seen worm support.
Tenyi!
Oh,
True
right.
King! You know, the synchro deck that was running running the format might be a bit too much, but they were very solid contenders, and they have a lot of generic support that works with them. Tenyi Sword Soul, that's the one.
Could they theoretically be played in Sword Soul?
These ones, yeah, they're all worms, so you can use them all for the Moyi and Taya checks. They're level 4s. And if you like equip, which one was it? Fireworm? You can now use your equipped worms as synchro material to give you more stuff for that.
I guess you're right.
So, lots of good infrastructure on that one. Now, that being said, it's a lot of like enablers, but there's not like payoffs that win you the game here, I think. There's some nice utility with some of these extra deck ones, but it's not killing people by itself. We leave that to the actual Dragon Link deck, giving it a 3 in objectivity because I am worried about the things that these enable.
Well, I said I play tested them. I never said I play tested them a lot.
Hey, you know what? Once again, none of these are a slight, but I'm looking at this, and from a power level scenario, if you printed this in a pack, these would be chase secrets, and people would be complaining about them on YouTube for 6 months, asking why no one has limited Knight Arthur yet. Now, that being said, versatility. Dragon Knight Arthur requires generic level 4 monsters, and all of the things that you summon off of that and King Arthur could potentially be the Dragon Knights that you tech in, and all of those can be used to make whatever you want because there's no Xeno locking going on here. So there's actually precedent that these could be played fairly splashably as free material for anything that you want. So unless we're being locked out of Xyz monsters, which some decks do. Hi, everyone. I'm the guy resolving branded fusion all the time. I gotta give it a 4 on versatility. Like, you can do a lot of stuff with these cards, on top of the fact that they're just more dragon support.
Yeah.
And awesomeness, folks, it's Raphael. He put Raphael in, they put Raphael in there for crying out loud. It's for higher lore, and it's dragons. I love dragons.
Raphael, is it also just gonna... Like, other than just Raphael, would it still get a 5 in awesomeness?
Even if Raphael wasn't here, the cards are cool, and I'm an easy mark for dragon-related archetypes. I'm the dragon guy. I've based my entire personality off of the 90s PlayStation 1 RPG Legend of Dragoon. I cannot miss with that. I'm sorry. So it's a 5.
Alright.
So what is that? We're looking at a 14 on the Nova scale for the Dragon Knight cards. Blue Gem, thank you very much for showing all these off for us. I felt like this was a treat.
Yep. I don't know which one of them I'm going to give to next month, though. I don't know which one. I'm going to definitely keep doing these for higher monsters, by the way.
So would the idea be that each of like the different boss monsters each have their own archetype that they come from?
Yeah. It's just like Raphael is the only dragon, so that was the only. However, something like Stagita would have the other winged beasts and like Folgo would have the other beast monsters.
What if Dinah was like a just an absolutely unhinged Zodiac monster, just completely off the rails?
Oh, don't worry about what I'm doing for Rex.
Now I am. Now that you brought Rex up, now I am worried.
Remember Ground Zeno?
No, not another baby! Don't pop another baby! No! Konami just wants to destroy children. I don't know how Shinzo Abe let Konami work for as long as they did. Oh my god. All right. Well, thank you so much. Have yourself a good one. All right. Oh, they left already. I can't believe Rex died. Yeah, me neither. I thought Rex was gonna live forever, but then they hit Runix, so I don't know what else to tell you. All right. Blaze 409. It's about time to look at your cards. And I'm seeing some names here. I'm seeing a guy. I'm pretty excited.
Oh yeah.
Hey Blaze, how's it going?
Pretty good. How about you?
Doing pretty good. I'm having a good time looking at some cards, and I'm, like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing what you've decided to cook up here. Do you have any kind of preface or anything we want to talk about before we get started?
One thing, I don't know if you have it written down still, but would you mind doing the summoning chant for Trihorn Dragon?
Oh man, I think you're right in so far as that I don't have it written down.
I do.
But
1 second.
oh yeah, send it over. Send it over. Honestly, we might need to make a new one though, because like it's been years now, and he's proven himself in so many ways. Okay. Oh, okay. Now I'm making some connections here. Never mind. I have to do this one. Explain, learn, progress. These are the 3 pillars to govern knowledge. 3 keys to become better than myself. Advanced Shokan, with your 3 horns governing the night, appear and shadow the earth. Try Horn Dragon!
Mm-hmm.
Ah, God, that feels good. Whew.
Oh yeah, I was watching. I'm planning to rewatch the entire series because I'm a bit behind, and I started rewatching it, and then I got to the part where you do the summoning chant for the first time. I'm like, well, I have to make an entire archetype based off of this.
Sick. Okay, audio is fixed. Alrighty, then shall I begin?
If you don't mind.
Oh, absolutely. I do not mind. Okay, so Trihorned Monolith Explain is a continuous trap card. You can activate this card the turn it was set if you control Trihorned Dragon. Special summon this card as an effect monster, level 3 Dark Dragon monster with 0 attack and 1850 defense. This card is also still treated as a trap card. Trihorned monsters you control cannot be targeted by spell cards. Once per turn, during your main phase, you can banish 1 dragon monster from your hand face down to add a Trihorned spell from your deck to your hand. A Trihorned monster fusion summoned using this card gains the following effect. Once per turn, you can when your opponent activates a spell card, you can shuffle one of your face-down banished cards into the deck. You can negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. Oh my god, this card is awesome!
Yep.
So, we get it. It's a blocker for a bit. Keeps our Trihorn safe from spell card effect targeting.
Yep.
Searches out our Trihorn spells,
Mm-hmm.
and then it gives an effect to the eventual fusion monster we'll be getting to. Outrageous.
Yes.
Alrighty. Okay, so next up is Trihorned Chick. Alright. Trihorned Chick is a level 3 Dark Dragon monster, 850 attack and 1000 defense. If you control a face-up Trihorned monster, you can special summon this card from your hand in defense position. This card named becomes Trihorned Dragon while on the field, and if this card is sent to the graveyard by an opponent's card, you can special summon a Trihorned Dragon from your hand, deck, or graveyard. Neat. So we have an
Just
easy way to get the name on board for all of our effects, and then when it goes away, we get the real one.
Yep.
Okay, all right. Okay, Trihorned Ruins. Trihorned Ruins, field spell card. When this card is activated, you can add a Trihorned card from your deck to your hand. Trihorned monsters you control gain 700 attack. Once per turn, if a face-down banished card is shuffled into the deck, you can target one card your opponent controls and return that target to the hand. During the end phase, you can shuffle one of your face-down banished cards into the deck to draw a card. Ooh. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that the pillars all function around, or the monoliths, rather, function around, like, the same axis, but they do different, like, card types.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, cool. So that'll help keep all the face-down banishing costs. Not the cost themselves, but it'll keep the resources recycled, gets us some stuff. I dig.
Mhm.
Okay. Oh, Trihorned Fusion. Okay, alright. Let's see what the... Okay. Trihorned Fusion, normal spell card. Activate one of the following effects. Fusion summon a level 9 dragon fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing the listed materials from your hand or field face down. Or, if you control Trihorned Ruins, you can special summon up to 3 Trihorned continuous trap cards from your grave as effect monsters with the usual stats. Then immediately after this effect resolves, fusion summon a Trihorned fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing the material face down. Oh my god. Okay. So we don't want to be wasting our time actually activating the monoliths if we can help it. We want to get them into the graveyard and use fusion to get them set up.
Yes.
Okay, alright. That's funky. Alright, and then last, Trihorned Dragon, Guardian of Knowledge. Look at him! Look at him! Look at this guy! Ugh.
I didn't get a chance. I was working on the art until this morning. I didn't get a chance to finish shading all that kind of stuff. I just got the flats done.
Hey, and I can't wait to see more of that if you keep working on this. But right now, I'm already elated just seeing him like this. Like, he's exuding the power. Ugh. Alright. Trihorned Dragon, Guardian of Knowledge, level 9, Dark Dragon Fusion Monster, 3000 attack, 2550 defense, requiring 3 Trihorned monsters with different original names as material. This card's name becomes Trihorned Dragon while on the field or in the graveyard. This fusion summon monster cannot be destroyed by battle with an effect monster. During your main phase, you can reveal one of your face-down banished cards. Add the revealed card to your hand. You can only activate the effect of this card thrice per turn. Yes! The 3 motif continues.
Mm-hmm.
That is outrageous. Oh my god. Okay, so I forget the way the effect that this has where it can't be destroyed by battle by effect monsters. That reminds me of First of the Dragons. Is that also a level 9 dragon fusion monster, or am I...
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Okay, so it is meant to kind of use that as well.
A little bit, yeah. I was looking when I was making the fusion at first. I was looking at, well, I don't want to make it just Trihorn Dragon, so I looked up, and First of the Dragons is a valid target.
Yeah. And because it's like normal support, it kind of fits in with the whole using Trihorn stuff. So I dig. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. Now, so we've covered okay. So explain deals with spell cards.
Mm-hmm.
Learn deals with trap cards.
Yes, but the way the fusion effect works is a bit different.
Oh yeah.
Yep. If you scroll to the bottom of it, you should be able to see like how that effect works.
Shuffle one of your... Oh, okay. Here, I'm just gonna make sure that I'm the first part though. So okay, so
okay, yeah.
Okay, so
everything else is the same.
Got it. Okay, so for this one, explain deals with spell card activations.
Mm-hmm.
Learn. Once per turn, you can shuffle one of your face-down banished cards into the deck. Target one set spell or trap card your opponent controls, and if you do, that card cannot be activated this turn. Your opponent cannot activate set cards in response to this card's activation. Okay, pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So lock that down. And then progress. Once per turn, when your opponent activates a monster effect as a quick effect, you can shuffle one of your face-down banished cards into the deck and negate the activation. And if you do, banish that card. Ooh, yeah! Banishing negation. That's savage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So, we've got our fusion. we've got our traps. Take a look at the spells. Let's cover Scholar and Maiden real quick.
Yep.
So, Scholar, Trihorn Scholar, level 3, Dark Dragon, 1850 attack, 0 defense. If this card is normal summoned, you can banish the top card of your deck face down. Excavate the top 3 cards of your deck, or as many as you can, and if you do, you can add an excavated Trihorn card to your hand. Also shuffle the rest into the deck. You can activate this effect once per turn. Pretty cool card selection and sets up our face down banished zone for stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And lastly is Trihorned Maiden, level 3 Dark Spellcaster, 1850 attack, 0 defense. During your main phase, you can banish the top card of your deck face down to special summon this card from your hand. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can you can banish one dragon monster from your hand face down to add a Trihorned spell from your deck to your hand, which gets us Ruin or Fusion, and then we're off to the races from there. Hell yeah.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, these cards are awesome, and I love them, and they're amazing. Is there any other synergies or combos that we haven't had a chance to go over, or we haven't brought up that do you want to talk about?
So this is my first attempt at trying to make a more combo oriented deck. Because like theoretically, if you have, I think it's Explain, you can get almost an entire setup done. No, not Explain. I think it was Learn or something. Like you can bring out the Maiden. Well, it's almost a combo deck. It's missing like a single card. Like if you get Chick on the field, and then you can start activating the monoliths, you can add the Maiden to hand, who then adds the Ruins to hand, who can then add any of the cards to hand, and you kind of just start comboing off from there. And I also want to say the reason why I went with Face Down Banished was I went with the idea of face down cards representing lost knowledge that has been lost over time. And then, so that's kind of what the whole monoliths and everything else banishing and face down is representing the lost knowledge. And then the Trihorn Dragon Guardian of Knowledge is all about bringing them back and shuffling them back, getting them back. So it's relearning lost knowledge. And that's kind of what the effects represent, is like shuffling back one of your pieces of lost knowledge in order to like cast a powerful spell to stop your opponent, type of thing.
Yeah, reaching out into this area of ancient forgotten spells and cryptic arcane arts. Mm-hmm. I think that translates really well. So I think that was a good design space to work through.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Yeah, that's pretty good. I know that the timer says about 11 minutes, but I know I didn't start it until I finished covering all the cards, so we might actually be closer to end. If there's anything else we want to cover really quickly, please feel free to. Otherwise, I'm going to break out that Nova scale.
No, that should be it.
Alrighty. So, novelty. So here's the issue here. Whatever score I give any of these is going to be heavily biased. I'm just going to own up to it. I can't be objective about this. It's my boy. That being said, it's a 5 in novelty. Not only is this supporting a monster that has deserved an archetype for 25 years of this godforsaken game, it doesn't feel like we're using very many mechanics that at least get used very often, right? Like, when was the last time a deck used continuous trap cards as monsters as a key part of its enabling its strategy? That's right, Eldritch, and we don't talk about him, so he doesn't count. Normal monsters play a big role in this one because of how we can play with First of the Dragons here. It plays with Trihorned. You can see kind of the bones of things like Blue Eyes support, where we're bringing in like characters that are meant to support it. But it all feels like it comes, like, all of these are such small little ingredients that are being mixed up into this big soup, this new delicious soup, that I don't feel like we're using too much of a single idea here. So I gotta give it a 5. Like, this stuff is awesome. Objectivity. I believe our problem-solving card text here is solid. I didn't see anything that's, like, not works the way it's supposed to. We have the continuous trap monsters are usually the most difficult thing to account for, but you've done everything in here that I think you're supposed to. The only thing I'm worried about is how inherited effects work when it comes to banishing that material face down, because now it's going to a hidden zone. But I forget if there's precedent to like show whether or not that actually works.
Yeah, I ran into so me and the people in the Discord,
Okay.
we ran into this problem, and we're all like, we don't know if there's precedent for this. We don't know, but from what we know, this should theoretically work.
Well, if anyone wants to yell at me about it later on, then feel free to. But otherwise, I don't see an issue with any of these when it comes to the text. Power level wise, also seems pretty tame. The monoliths are limited in power by the fact that you either have to wait a turn to play them or you get your Trihorns onto the board. They do card selection, but boo-hoo, every good deck does card selection now. It's not like a thing that makes you overpowered. The effects on Guardian of Knowledge that you inherit from the monoliths are pretty strong, but, we've had Protect the Castle style stuff before, and Trihorn does not gain any, like, really powerful protections out of any of these. They're not becoming, like, a Towers monster, so I can't think of a reason why it wouldn't be a 5 in objectivity. I think the power level is just fine for these cards. Versatility. Now, I'm pretty sure that this isn't going to see play in every deck. This isn't getting a 5 in versatility. It's very specifically for Trihorn. I'm not sure if there even is any synergy that any other deck would be able to take from this.
So, any kind of, a Dragon Link, maybe, because if you can get Trihorn Check out, you can use the traps as material to start linking off. And oddly enough, Kashtira as well, a little bit, since they're like banishing stuff face down.
Oh, okay. I guess it kind of does that.
But like, I was thinking about that too. That's like the only things I could think of that would like what this deck does.
Yeah. The question on top of that, though, is like, it can use it. The other half of that is, would they want to? And I don't know if the cards on offer here are really good examples of boosting their strategies up. Like, I think Kashtira will work just fine without.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
I mean, we would love to play Kashtira in this one. Free level 7, deal some stuff. Hey, awesome stuff. So I think versatility here is like a 1 in here. It's very specifically for us, and maybe some small sprinkled in things here or there. But awesomeness, buddy. Chat. What am I putting here? What am I putting? Tell me what I'm putting here. Tell me. I want you to guess. I'm not waiting. It's a 5, motherfuckers. It's a 5. It's Trihorn Dragon. It's my boy. And I really do think that the way that you took the phrasing of that summoning chant and you literally created a world around that by using the idea of knowledge, by making face down banished cards mean something beyond just being a penalty for cost. And it also means that, as chat was pointing out, we can play cards like Pot of Desires and Extravagance with Abandon and not have to worry about paying the cost because we get to draw for free and then get the cards back. It's like extra card selection for us. I can't fault it. It's getting a 5. The Trihorn cards are getting a 16. These are fantastic. Blaze, thank you. Thank you so much. This is a great gift.
Hey, no problem. I really enjoyed making this one.
I'm glad you did. I can see the joy that went into some of these cards going on here. This was really fantastic. Holy cow. And don't think I didn't see that you made the stats a specific way to line up with how the original one was at. Okay, you don't. I got you. I got you covered on that one.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right. Anything else you want to talk about before we move on to our next group of cards?
No, that should be it.
All right. Well, thank you once again, and I will catch you later. All right.
All right, later.
All right. Bye-bye.
Yeah, where's my? Okay.
Hell yeah. Hell frickety yeah. Okay, one moment. Let me go ahead and dip out of guest comms for a second. I am getting a little parched, so I'm going to go ahead and grab a little drinky drink real quick. I'm going to go ahead and throw up those ads so we can get those pre-rolls disabled for all of our newcomers, and then I will see all of you really quickly with our third presenter. Don't y'all go nowhere. I'll see all y'all in a second. All right. And I'm keeping an eye on all of you. Don't do anything goofy while I'm gone, okay? The burping stag is now my new tavern location. All right, I'm back. Zal, Drekka, come on. The one thing. Comby, dad jokes count as goofy. Come on. I don't know. I don't know with you people. What am I gonna do with you, chat? What, you want me to cherish you and enjoy your company like that? Golly. Jesus Christ. Okay. Next we have the Solariums from our good friend Nomadic Chaos. Let's go ahead and jump back into voice chat and we will begin the process. Mr. Chaos, how you doing today?
I'm doing just great. I'm excited for the new year.
Oh, me too, man. I can't wait for 2020 Part 4.
Me neither.
Okay, so we have what the Solariums.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on with these folks?
Well, as you know, with the whole Visa Starfrost storyline that happened a while back, this takes place in the whole universe of that, where the inhabitants of the multiple planets where Cashier Riceheart was taken over and was pretty much drained them of all their resources because, banishing effects drain your deck's resources. So that was kind of happening to everyone's home planets.
Mm-hmm.
The surviving planets and all these star systems decided we need to take care of that immediately so we're not getting constantly taken over or held hostage by this guy taking our planet's resources to power his doomsday weapon, Shangri-Ira. As such, the Solarium Corps was formed to combat that.
Okay, I dig. Alrighty,
Yep.
well then I'll go ahead and grab the first card off this list unless there's anything else we want to cover really quickly.
Oh yeah, actually, I made two of them for you as custom Christmas Yu-Gi-Oh cards for you.
Well, I'm seeing the first one on this list. I'm thinking this might be one of them.
Yep.
Solarium Rank Up Magic GoldenNova Ascension.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Quick play spell card. When this card is activated, select a fire or light attribute Xyz monster you control and use it to Xyz summon from the extra deck an Xyz monster that is 2 ranks higher than that monster and attach that monster's materials to that card. Then inflict damage to your opponent equal to the Xyz summoned monster's current material times 400 that was summoned by this card's effect. Ooh. Were there any fire or light Xyz monsters you had in mind when making this?
I originally, not really, although when I was thinking, I was like, this could actually work pretty decent when with Utopia decks, now that I think about it.
It does work with lights, that is true. Oh my god, and it's a quick play spell card, so you can do like Utopia shenanigans and then quick swap it in the middle of the battle phase. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's what I realized partway through making this. Is like, this could go stupid crazy with Utopia decks for shenanigans.
All right. Well, thank you for the Christmas present. I appreciate it.
Yep.
All right, next up is, what is that? Solarium Sentinel. Specifically Ultraviolet Hypernova.
Yep, those are the other custom Christmas Yu-Gi-Oh card I wanted to make for you.
Ooh. Alrighty. Solarium Sentinel Ultraviolet Hypernova, level 10. Light attribute machine synchro monster, 3600 attack, 3300 defense, requiring a machine tuner and 2 or more light monsters as material. When this card is synchro summoned onto the field, deal 400 damage to your opponent for each face-up card on the field. As a quick effect, when this card destroys an opponent's monster, deal additional damage equal to that monster's original attack. And if that monster was special summoned, this card gains 300 attack and can make a second attack this battle phase. If this card was sent to the graveyard or banished by a battle or card effect, then destroy monsters your opponent controls with levels or ranks lower than this card and inflict 400 damage to your opponent for each card destroyed by this effect. And as a level 10, this is going to be dealing with a lot of stuff when it blows up.
Mm-hmm. So all those like hard Galaxy Eyes plays, all those like big rank 10 machine monster plays, those are really going to be the only things that can survive getting hit with this.
And anything lesser will be consumed in the ultraviolet rays of the Hypernova Destruction Blast.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you again for that one as well. Thank you.
No problem.
All right, next is Solarium Sentinel Infrared Assassin. A rank 4 light warrior Xyz monster with 2600 attack and 2400 defense, requiring 2 or more fire or light level 4 monsters as material. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by a battle, inflict battle damage equal to the difference between that monster's attack and the destroyed monster's defense. When this card destroys a monster by battle, you can detach a material to shuffle 1 card your opponent controls back into their deck, and if that card is an Xyz monster that was shuffled into the deck, inflict additional damage equal to that monster's rank times 300. I'm seeing a lot of burn damage as a theme going on here.
Yep, the main theme for the Solarium cards is we want to get a mission done as quickly as possible, so through that, burn damage. And consistently.
Just shoot those laser beams right in their eyes.
Yep.
Alrighty. Next up is Solarium Sentinel Particle Punisher. Alrighty. A rank 6 fire attribute monster. Warrior Xyz, 3100 attack, 2500 defense, requiring 2+ fire or light level 6 monsters as material. When this card is Xyz summoned, inflict damage equal to the number of face-up cards your opponent controls times 500. As a quick effect, when your opponent activates a card effect, you can detach a material to negate the effect and shuffle the negated card into your opponent's deck. When your opponent's monster would attack a card other than this monster, you can detach a material to negate the attack, and if you do, inflict damage equal to that monster's original attack. So, they gotta fight Particle Punisher, or you're getting Particle Punished.
Yep. They're like, no, you gotta get through me if you want to get to everybody else.
I know, that one was like, this is fire. Now, I forget, the rank up magic we were talking about earlier, can that swap between fire and light, or do those have to remain the same attribute when it comes to ranking up?
It specific is it locks you into like summoning fire and light attributed Xyz monsters. So once you play that, you're kind of locked into summoning a fire or light attribute Xyz monster that's 2 ranks higher.
Okay. So would you be able to use it to turn Infrared Assassin into Particle Punisher, even though one is light and the other is fire?
Yes, as long as the Xyz monster that's 2 ranks higher is a fire or light attribute monster, you can
Okay,
go
okay.
for it. Yeah.
Alrighty. Alright, next is Solarium's Red Giant's Incineration Strike. A normal trap card. When your opponent's monster would banish or destroy a face-up Solarium monster you control, instead you can destroy face-up monsters they control with attack equal to or less than that destroyed or banished monster. I'm also noting that retaliation is a big theme going on here.
Yeah, because I wanted to make sure that within more the thing of, hey, we're making sure we're getting a comeback against the Cashteras messing with our horse star system.
You may have a giant 3,000 attack booty we can't attack through. We do not care. We will just shoot right over it.
Yep, with the power of the sun!
Alrighty, so that's all the ones we had on the list. Are there any cards that we want to go over, or do we want to read that lore?
You can read the Warful if you want.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get that covered. Okay. In the many years since Kashtira and his armies ravaged the Samsara galaxy, and the many planets and star systems within at large of their resources and leaving them desolate, hollow shells of themselves, in his conquest for power as an interstellar warlord. The many planets at large had decided that enough was enough of being victims to the ravaging terror that was Kashtira Riseheart, the best and brightest alongside that of a rising coalition of planets tried for their allies being made victims, had decided to band together and create a counter-organization that would not only serve as protectors for their galaxy and the stars around them, to create what would be known as the Solarium Corps. The Solarium Corps, being an interstellar force of cybernetically enhanced soldiers and cutting-edge technology, empowered by the energy of the suns around them, wherein their sole mission would be to act as not only a fast-acting paramilitary force against Kashtira and Riseheart, but also to act as a powerful tactical force against all threats in the galaxy at large, that sided with Riseheart or would become a threat of similar scale and magnitude like the Interstellar Warlord. The years that came from creating, and much more so training, the Solarium Corps to be a highly efficient and relentless force against the Warlord was nothing if not arduous, as all was put into making sure that it would stand the best chance possible against them. Even more so, when creating their most powerful assets against the likes of Kashtira Riseheart and his doomsday weapon in Shangra-Era, as well as that of Visa Starfrost, whose absorptions of Reichardt and Rhinoheart had destabilized both star systems they called home. As such, leaving races and creatures with newfound freedom to take back what was theirs before the likes of Visas' counterparts came to power and bound themselves to their respective planets to keep them at bay. Did the Solarium Corps set forth to unleash this budding squadron of mechanized heroes to prevail against the threats cropping up across the galaxy as Visas went forth in search of Riseheart? Enter the Solarium Sentinels, powerful cybernetic super soldiers chosen from the very best of the Solarium Corps' finest, who were further empowered and augmented by further augmentations and extensively intense exposure to additional forms of radiation to give them further access to devastating power to combat not only the threat of Kashtira, but also to exterminate any other threats that would ravage the galaxy at large, be they interstellar ones like that of Riseheart, or perhaps even interdimensional ones from the stars beyond. As the antics of Starheart leave way for threats from galaxies beyond to take sight of the devastation within and use it as the breeding grounds for interstellar conquest. Whatever the case may be for the Samsara galaxy as a whole, no longer would it suffer a ticking clock of impending desolation, as now it had an answer to the rampant growth of lawlessness and devastation to worlds left barren. For the light of a new dawn would rise again upon star systems old and new, as the Solarium Core now stood ready to annihilate all evils in its crosshairs and defend the inhabitants of the galaxy from threats that may be. And then we get the title drop, Solarium Core, coming 2025.
Yeah. So as you can see, the main threats for this is not only is Weishart, but also Visas, who has been literally messing with the literal galaxies thanks to absorbing Rhinoheart and Reichheart.
Yeah, maybe someone having the ability to rewrite a star system on their own is a little disruptive. No matter how much of a good guy they are, it's going to cause some problems.
Yeah, he did not think this through when he was doing that.
Alrighty, and it looks like we still got a bit more time. I'm just going to go ahead and skim through these monsters, see if we can get a better idea of what the deck is all about.
Go for it.
Alright, we got Solarium Sniper, level 4 Fire Attribute Warrior monster, 1800 attack, 1100 defense. This card can inflict piercing battle damage when it destroys an opponent's monster by battle. Solarium Demolitionist, level 4 Fire Attribute Warrior monster, 1700 attack and 1000 defense. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, shuffle a random card in your opponent's hand into the deck. Oh, oof. Solarium Field Medic, level 4 Light Attribute Warrior Tuner monster with 1400 attack and 1700 defense. Once per turn, you can gain life points equal to the combined level of monsters you control times 150. Now, 150 is an interesting number. Was there a reason for settling on that?
I think it would be like a nice middle ground to not be too much of a voided out effect and not make it too overpowered for our level 4 monster.
Okay, okay.
And Strike Sword was just meant to be like a regular normal monster.
Is that the same for Shock Trooper?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's some good level 4 monsters. Neat, neat. Solarium Cyberneticist, level 4 Fire Machine Tuner monster, 1600 attack and defense. When this card is used for the Synchro or Xyz summon of a machine monster, apply the following effects based on the summoning type. If it was a Synchro, this monster gains 400 attack each time it destroys a monster by battle. Neat. Or if it was used as Xyz material, while this card is Xyz material, that monster cannot be destroyed by battle. I do love it when tuners also make for good Xyz material. I love the flexibility.
You don't really get much of that really now with Syncs.
Solarium Commando, level 6 Light Attribute Warrior monster, 2200 attack, 2000 defense. While this face-up card is on the field, fire and light monsters you control gain 200 attack and defense. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, special summon a Solarium monster from your hand or graveyard to the field. There we go. Just get yourself a free monster for winning in battle. Oh, this can get our extra deck monsters back onto the field, can't it?
No, it's just like whatever cards you have in hand. So fortunately, you can't really use it to cheat out your extra deck monsters.
Oh yeah, we can't cheat it out directly from the extra deck, but if they die.
Oh yeah, if they die, then you can.
Hell yeah. Alrighty, Solarium Armored Trooper, level 6 Light Machine monster with 2400 attack and defense. While this card is on the field, all Solarium monsters you control gain 200 attack and defense. And when a Solarium monster would be destroyed by battle once per turn, you can negate the attack.
Yep.
Oh, okay, so it doesn't just negate any attack, just attacks that would destroy your monster by battle.
Yeah, so unfortunately, if it's direct attack, you can't use it to do that.
Oh.
And Assault Drone is just like another normal monster.
Alright, then that puts it Solarium Flare Trooper, level 6 Fire Attribute Warrior monster. 2500 attack, 2100 defense. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can deal additional damage equal to half that monster's defense. You love to see some good Flame Wingman effects.
Yeah.
Or style effects, rather. Anyway, Solarium Tactical Drone, level 4 Fire Machine Tuner monster with 1600 attack and defense. Once per turn, when a Solarium card you control would be destroyed by a card effect, you contribute a face-up card you control and negate that effect. When a Fire or Light Machine monster is Synchro summoned using this card, it gains the following effect. That synchro summon monster cannot be targeted by your opponent's card effects until the end of your next turn. Ooh. Alrighty. We've covered the fantastic GoldenNova Ascension already.
Yeah.
Solarium Core's Interstellar Bombardment continuous spell card. When a Solarium Synchro or Xyz monster is special summoned, inflict damage equal to that special summon monster's rank or level times 350. And that doesn't look like it has a once per turn.
As long as you can keep getting them out, it's meant to be like, hey, hit him with everything you got, people. We need to get rid of this guy now.
So, putting out a rank 4 monster, that's 1400 damage just off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
Level 6s, that's another 700, so that's 2100 damage. That's a quarter of their life points. It's an 8, it's another 7, that's 2800. Oh my god, yeah. That's FTK fodder right there. I'm getting rid of my opponent before they have a chance to do anything. Incredible. Alright. Solarium Core Solar Wind Ballista. Equip spell card. When a monster is equipped with this card, it gains 700 attack. When the equipped monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle, destroy a random face-up card on your opponent's side of the field. And if it was a monster card, inflict additional damage equal to half of its original attack. Solarium Core Deployment Quick Play spell card. When this card is activated, special summon from the deck Solarium monsters equal to the number of monsters your opponent controls. These monsters cannot be destroyed or banished by card effect until the end of this turn. Wow, that card is good. So if you... I feel like you'd want to go first so you can burn your opponent out of the game before they have to do anything. But if you go second and they establish a board, you just play Deployment and you have an instant board. Just out of nowhere. Outrageous. Solarium Core Rage Flare Javelin quick play spell card. When a special summoned Solarium monster is destroyed by battle or card effect, shuffle that destroyed monster into the deck and reduce the attack of your opponent's monster by half of that special summoned monster's attack. I assume it's half that special summoned monster's attack.
Correct.
Okay. Okay, I think this is the last one we're going to get to cover. Solarium Core's Collapsing Nova Buster. Counter trap card. When a spell or trap card would destroy face-up Solarium monsters you control, negate the card's effect and banish it, and as many face-up spell and trap cards your opponent controls, up to the number of face-up Solarium monsters on the field. Just scoop up those spells and traps. Just slurp them up.
Just no.
Alrighty. Okay, well that is a white hot series of cards here. I'm gonna go ahead and break out the Nova scale unless we have anything else we need to bring to everyone's attention before we get started on that.
Nope, we're all good to get started.
Alrighty. So, novelty. So it's a Fire Warrior light. It's a Fire and Light Warrior and Machine centric deck. Synchros and Xyz are the big extra deck mechanic, and it's got a lot of things, but burn damage is the huge focus here. I like that the sun imagery or the sun motif is being represented by both light and fire. I feel like they just use light a lot of the time or fire on like a fewer occasions, but they hardly ever mix, and I feel like they should be mixed more often because yeah, it's so hot and it provides so much light because it will incinerate you if you touch it. So I think that's a good touch. And the focus is on burn damage, which is, it's a mechanic that doesn't get touched on very often, at least insofar as an entire archetype. And there's a reason for that, because if your burn damage is too consistent, then you're just making FTKs, and no one wants that. Unless you're the person FTKing someone, because then you get the win for free. But that does still mean that it's a design space that doesn't get used very often. And in the context of creatures using solar radiation to burn things away, I think aesthetically it's what's the word? It's justified in that front. And so I think our novelty here, I think it's a 4. Fire Warrior and Light Machines are big archetypes already. There's big decks behind them. There's also been Light Warriors a lot, and of course, Fire Machine is a very underrepresented combo, but we see a lot of those, a lot of crossover for those things. But they don't get played in this way in particular very often. So I think it's a 4, unless I'm missing something. I think this is a fairly unique style of play that we don't see very often. Objectivity. I'm very scared about how powerful these cards are, but I think that's been a running theme with your submissions. You do not believe in putting the power limiter on these cards. These are going to hit the ground running, they're going to do what they want to do, and they're going to smash their opponent. I'm giving it a 1 because I respect how powerful these things are. They're going to just blow your opponent out of the water when it comes to effect damage. Zaldreka is correct. They are always going to win in time. There's almost never a situation in which they're not going to. They're very, very strong. So we're getting a 1 in objectivity.
To be fair, I am a big believer in war first, then power.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so versatility. Our extra deck monsters, I believe, are actually pretty limited to this archetype, which isn't a bad thing. I'm just noting that a lot of our materials require like machine tuners or light non-tuners. This isn't something that we're splashing in everything. Though with GoldenNova Ascension, there is an argument for teching in things like the rank 6 when you're playing a Utopia deck. Just use Utopia stuff like regular, then make Particle Punisher and go ham. Our main deck monsters don't have any locks, but they don't seem to synergize outside of the deck in any particular way. So I think our versatility here is like a 3. Largely because of how powerful they are. They could see play in other decks. Especially if those decks are things like Infernobles or Cyber Dragons, which are both decks that share type attribute combinations that we're seeing here. So I can see this being played partially in some other decks just as like really big powerful boss monsters. And awesomeness. Look, it is a core of interstellar warriors harnessing solar radiation to burn away evil capitalists. How can I not give that a 5? Maybe they're a little overzealous, you know. I think Visas is a good guy. I think he's trying to do his best out there. Maybe don't eradicate him, but you know, that's a good story. I think it's some good flavor. They're not really on anyone's side. They're out on their own idea of justice, which I think has pretty good flavor. So I got to give it a 5 in this one, which means that the Solarium core is getting a 13 on the Nova scale.
All right.
Hey, well, thank you so much for these submissions. These cards are really cool.
Glad you like them.
In fact, I will go out on a limb here and say that the Solarium core probably has your most focused and cohesive build of any of the series of cards that you sent over. This might be your best stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you want to talk about or share before we move on to our next segment?
2 things. One, fun fact for the extract monsters. Each of them were not. Each of them actually have a additional part of radiation. That, if you look at the name, for example, ultraviolet radiation for hypernova, infrared for assassin, and so on for each one of them, which I think will be a neat little add-on to them.
Yeah, it's cool using the beyond the visual spectrum power.
Yeah, and the second thing is for next month. The next deck that I'm going to do is an Archfey deck where we're looking at, as I mentioned in one of my previous episodes, the rival to Ancient Fairy Dragon, Avaris, ruler of the Winter Court. They're going to be making their siege on the Summer Court of Ancient Fairy's home, and as it turns out, one of the Steiner Dragons was helping Avaris do the deed.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, they took it personal when Ancient Fairy Dragon kept choosing the Crimson Dragon over their court and decided to be like, I'm going to be a spy for the Winter Court because I'm getting tired of you not helping out our home when we need you.
Yeah, that sounds like some political intrigues going on.
Yeah, so Stay tuned for that for next month, because oh boy.
Oh, you bet. All right, well, thank you again, and I will talk to you later, Nomadic, all right?
All right. Have a nice one and happy 2024 to you.
And happy 2024 to you as well. Take care.
All right.
Alrighty. Okay, now we were supposed to have one more person today. Millennia was signed up. But it looks like they haven't responded in my messages about this. And to be honest, I understand. You've probably already heard. No, there we are. Millennia, thank God you showed up right at the end. Holy cow. Okay, we can do this. Holy cow. How's it going? I was worried we were going to have to skip you. Do it there. Sorry, I forgot about the time. Hey, no, you're all good. I know that I messed up when it came to posting the days for today, and things got a little loopy, but I appreciate y'all working with me. Send link now. Yes, good. Send me your delicious, tasty cards. And I'll go ahead and get back into the voice channel, and we will do one more card review before we head out today. Oh, and real quick, I know that we haven't adjusted the screen for the Google Doc ones. Has everyone been able to read these well enough, or do we need to zoom in on this? Is good. Okay, that's good. Let me reset the Nova scale here. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, and Millennia, are you joining in on voice chat, or am I going solo on this? If it's too small, you can use the DB link to showcase it. Ooh, hell yeah. Let's go ahead and do that.
Hello.
Hello, Millennia. How's it going?
Hey, I'm fine. Thank you for having me again today.
Hey, always glad to have you. So we've got Monarcho. I'm not sure I'm picking up on any references or anything on here. What's going on with Monarchos?
All right. So the lore is Monarchos are magical beasts who were victims of basically they were captured and being used as experiment by mages. So they are kobolds. That's why they got their name from mana, anarchy, and kobolds.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So one of the very core setting for them is that they are what call it here. They are super xenophobic for spellcasters. As you can see, you can read from just use example of one of the pendulum monster. Their monster effect is just outright. If you use this card, you yourself cannot use spellcaster monster for the rest of the duel.
Oh,
They are
dang.
that xenophobic.
They do not want to handle with those at all.
Yes, it's because they are very they're super convicted on fighting against spellcasters because of their trauma. So they are going to they're basically also from the cards themselves you can already kind of feel what they are similar to, right? I assume.
Well, if they're all pendulum monsters, and I'm seeing all the beast, wing beast stuff, it's bringing to mind the mythical beasts like Chimera, Medusa, Jackal King. Is it any along the lines of that?
Yes. Yes. So my idea here is kind of corrupting Endymion in a way.
Ooh.
Endymion have effect of they gain counter when you use spell traps, right? The Monarchos have effect of gaining counter when you summon, and then they summon themselves like the Endymion pendulums. They summon themselves, and then they do other stuff as well on top of it. And they also have monsters that are like spell trap negations, and but more importantly, their uh, main ace monster is it's kind of bonkers. You'll need to like read it later.
Alrighty. Well, then let's go ahead and get started.
All right, let's.
Okay.
Before that, sorry.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to I'm going to say Monarcho Clover and Monarcho Dandelion. Their effect are practically the same. They're one side of a two side of the same coin. So like you can basically conflate them with one another. Clover is, if I'm not mistaken, their monster effect is add monster, and Dandelion is add spell trap, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
All right, so okay.
Alright, so Monarcho Clover, level 3 Water Beast Pendulum Monster, scale of 2, 1600 attack, 0 defense. As a pendulum spell, each time you summon a monster, place one, and my Madoka is very rusty. So Walpurgisnacht,
Yep, Walpurgisnacht.
Walpurgisnacht counter on a card you control. You can remove 3 such counters from your field to special summon both this card from your Pendulum Zone and one level 3 or lower Beast, Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast from your deck or hand, except a copy of this card. As a monster, if this card owner uses this card, they cannot use spellcaster monsters for the rest of the duel. Just not happening. If this card is special
Yes,
summoned, you can add a Monarcho spell or trap card from your graveyard or deck to your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. If this card is removed from the field, to distribute 2 Walpurgisnacht counters, 2 cards you control. And then
yeah,
Dandelion will search the Monarcho monster.
yep, pretty
Ooh.
much. That also that monster effect, quote unquote, xenophobic. Xenophobia is, I word it that way. So if it got, say, like used by your opponent through like change of heart or something, they are not the ones that got the applied effect. So I want to make this like the xenophobic heart restriction as like as like a balancing act, but also I don't want to like just give this card to my opponent and then they just instantly for the rest of this duel cannot use spellcaster monsters at all. That's just unfair.
Yeah, you wouldn't want someone like me to like play Branded Fusion, send one of these to graveyard to make Rindbrum, and then use Sanctifier Dragon to give my opponent a Monarcho and then
Yes.
lock them out of any spellcaster stuff. That would
Yes,
be a
exactly.
little rude. So I think that was
Yeah.
a I think that was a good.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Next up is I've got Monarcho. I got Hemlock next on the list. Level
Yes.
3, Earth, Beast Warrior Pendulum Monster, scale of 8, 0 attack, 1600 defense. Each time you summon a monster, place one Walpurgisnacht counter on a card you control. You can remove 2. Okay, so that says spell
Oh yeah,
counters. Is it
yes.
supposed to be Walpurgs or is it.
Walpurgis not counter. Yes, sorry.
Okay.
That's a mistake.
It's all good. I thought we were going with like a funny inversion for a second, but yeah, so more.
Yeah.
Remove 2 Walpurgisnacht counters from your field. Special summon this card from your Pendulum Zone, then place a Monarcho Pendulum monster from your deck or face up extra deck except to copy this card to an open Pendulum Zone. As a monster, if this card's owner, our usual restriction, if this
Oh
card is
yeah.
special summoned by its own Pendulum effect, you can add a Beast, Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast monster from your deck. Also return up to 1 Monarcho monster your opponent controls to the hand. If this card is removed from the field, put 2 Walpurgisnacht counters on cards you control.
Yes, this card Hemlock will be super synergistic with the other card Monarcho Hyacinth. You can go to Monarcho Hyacinth and like I will tell the combo.
Alrighty. So Hyacinth's level 3 Fire Beast Warrior, scale 8, 0 attack, 1600 defense, has our Walpurgisnacht distribution effect. You can remove 2 from your field, special from this card from your Pendulum Zone to your opponent's field. There we go. Then place a Monarcho Pendulum monster from your deck or face up extra deck, except a copy of this card, to your open Pendulum Zone. You can only use this effect once per turn. As a monster effect, our usual restriction is on there. If this card is special summoned by its own pendulum effect, you can't activate monster card effects in your hand until your next end phase. Also reveal your hand to your opponent. Oh, nasty.
Yeah.
Here you go. No hand traps. Let me see what you got. This is no longer
Yes.
a hidden information game. I'm triple tacking you right now.
Yes. So Hyacinth whole deal is that she is um in context of the lore, she is the quote unquote spies for the monarchos. She goes into human settlements. She search infos and like sow chaos to like disturb the going ons of the mages. And Hemlock is basically like the quote unquote the getaway driver for her.
Hell
So
yeah.
that's the combo they're going
So
on.
that's why they
So
pick up Yankinson.
yeah,
That's great. No, I love that.
and
That is
then
some really good using card mechanics to tell a story.
yes,
Alrighty, well I dig. Okay, next on the list is Helianthus.
yep.
Where are you hiding? There you go.
Oh, sorry. Before that, can we go to the spell trap? Sorry, the spell on the main deck first.
Uh,
It's one of the kind of core of the deck.
okay. Monarcho Artifact Banners of the Week. It is a normal spell card. For the rest of the duel, apply the following effects. You can only summon Beast, Beast Warrior, and Winged Beast monsters. Now that's a bit more of a restriction. You can
Yeah.
normal summon a level 3 or lower Beast, Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast monster in addition to your normal summoner set. Once per turn, you can send spell or trap cards from your field, deck, and or hand to the graveyard. To add a Beast, Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast monster with a level equal to the number of spell traps that were sent, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then discard a Monarcho Artifact Banners of the Week. Your opponent cannot draw cards by card effects until their next end phase. Wow. That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So this is quote unquote the Morganite of the archetype.
Mm-hmm.
I was basically making this card as a one. As one, it's like a generic beast, tri type support with like the the distinction of making it extreme even more xenophobic with the first restriction. So this is also the third effect, the third applied effect. It's it's honestly, when I was making this card, I was just asking why no one used Bucephalus, why no one used Bucephalus the second, the from Tri Brigade. And then I was thinking, is there a way for us to just send spell traps from the deck, to use Bucephalus? And like, I just decided, okay, just let's make. The idea is, in lore, this is basically the Monarchos using, magic for their own purpose. So like, this is like they use magic as fuel to bring monsters that going to help them.
Nice,
But
nice.
in gameplay, just send three Tri Brigade spell traps that you will never use anyway. Grab a level 3 Monarchos, and then on your combo, you can just summon Bucephalus for funny.
Yeah, just cuz. It's whatever.
Yeah, because like no one used Bucephalus at all. You know,
Yeah, because
no
they
one.
kept making terrible Tri-Brigade spells and traps that no one wants to play. Artifact
Yes,
fixes this handily because now you don't have to play them. Just bin them.
yes,
Don't even look at them.
yep. Mm-mm. All right. Now we go to Helion for some wacky effect.
Okay. Monarcho Helianthus is a Link 4 light beast monster with 3,000 attack, requiring 4 plus effect monsters, including 3 Monarcho monsters. Now that's an interesting material because it's already a Link 4. Is that going to come up later?
Yep, it come up with its if this card is linked summon effect.
Okay, okay. So negate all spellcaster monster effects in your opponent's in their possession. You ain't activating Droll and Lockbird. You put that down.
Yes, because in lore, Helianthus is basically just like a black hole of mana. When she's there, mages just goes catatonic.
Sorry, folks. Shoulda shoulda learned how to do some sports and not only learned magic. You nerds.
Yes, yes.
Kick a football around every once in a while, you uncultured swine. All right. You can only activate 2 non-Monarcho spell or trap cards per turn. If this card is link summoned, this card gains Walpurg Snot counters for every link material used for it. Twice per turn, when your opponent activates a spell or trap card as a quick effect, you can remove 2 Walpurg Snot counters from your field. That card's effect on resolution becomes add this card to your opponent's hand. This effect can be chained to spell and trap card activations that can't usually be responded to, but you must remove 4 Walpurg Snot counters from your field instead. Huh.
Yeah,
You're right, this is a goofy little card.
it is. In lore, she is, as I said, black hole of mana. She's going to steal your spells. She's going to steal your ability to even cast spells. And if you're trying to attack her, you are basically going to left pretty much lifeless.
Yeah.
If you are a spellcaster, if you are like some huge sword toting dude, it's fair game. Like, go ahead.
Go ahead, you're fine. Go ahead. Walk this way.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hmm. No, I really do like the design of this card though. Cause I mean it does host spellcaster decks, obviously, but the extra deck exists. Play a non-spellcaster for once in your life. Um the limit on non-monarcho spells and traps is kind of cool. It keeps you from just stockpiling all of your opponent's cards. You do have to play them at a steady clip. I am
Yes, and
still
also,
confused why the material is 4 plus.
yeah, it's if this card is link summoned, this card gains for every link materials used. So it's like if you want to go over 4, yeah, you can do that. Because it said also if this card is link summoned for every materials used, not for link rating or something. So unlike my previous card, the Tunguska, you basically will only have, if you use the minimal material, you will only have 4 counters on this card. So that translates to either 2 on spell trap negation or 1 SS for spell speed for spell trap negation.
Okay,
So if you
so
want to get more, you either need to stockpile counters on other cards or use more than 4 materials.
okay, so Helion is specifically meant to break the rules on how you're supposed to make link monsters.
Yes, pretty much.
Okay, all right. Okay, well, yeah, this card's pretty cool. We've got a couple minutes left. Is there one other card out of these side deck cards you want to take a look at real quick?
The side decks, there is the continuous.
Continuous spell. Monarcho artifact Otherworlder's Pendulum. Continuous spell card. Once per turn, if you have no cards in your pendulum zones, you can pay half your life points. Place 2 Monarcho pendulum monsters from your deck or grave with different names and scales in your pendulum zones. Once per turn, pendulum monsters in your pendulum zones can be used as link material for link summoning of a beast, beast warrior, or winged beast link monster. Oh, okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's going to come up sometimes.
Yeah, it feels like it would come up all the time. Like you scale them, link them off, and then use Otherworlder's Pendulum effect to reset your scales, and then pend out the cards that you just linked off. That sounds really
That
good.
is one, yeah.
Oh
That
my
is one
god.
way to do it. Yeah.
Holy cow. Alrighty.
In one of
Well,
the replays, I have example of what you can do with it. It's kind of funny.
let's do one really quickly. Are we gonna do the Tri Brigade or the Scareclaw one?
The Fire King,
Fire
the
King.
Tri
Okay.
Brigade and Fire King, yes.
Okay, so we're gonna fast forward this one. We use Tanky. We get Hycantha. Hyankith. Banner of the Week. Send spell. Wait, no. Pause. There's the spell. The Hyankith. We're sending all those. We're getting Fractal. Okay. Shuffle. Play Fractal. Do the Fractal nonsense. Send Kit. Send Nerval. Search. Karis? Karis. Okay, we got Karis. Alright. So now we normal the Karis. Activate our the Hyankith's effect. Get Hemlock. And banishing it, because if we give it to our opponent, we'll never get it back, because the Dueling Book solo mode is very strange.
Yep.
Banish with Karos to get Bearbrum. That's another Hemlock effect, so we get to summon it out. And something from our deck. Oh no, we're going to get Clover there. Use Hemlock's effect. Get Kieran. We're going to bounce Hyankith back to hand using Hemlock's effect. Karis goes away. We're going to get Arcane Azalea. It's going to use its effect. Linked in the extra monster zone, you can... We're going to do the effect that places Grafted Heart onto the board. We don't know what Grafted Heart does, but I assume it's something cool. Clover will use its effect, summon itself, summon Kit from deck. Clover will activate. We're going to get Return Cull. We're going to play Hycanth, Hyankith. I know how to say words. We're going to use Kit, banish 2. We're going to get Farragut, Big Sisters on board. We're going to link 5 into Helios. Get a billion counters on it. Activate a billion effects from graveyard. Oh, get 4 material because it used 4 monsters. I'm not thinking correctly. We can now pend for 2 because that's where Bearbrum is pointing on the side. We can pend from hand. You guys want to see something cool? Folks, you want to see something cool? Oh, you guys can't see the text box, but Millennia's asking me something cool. Using Otherworlder's other effect. I'm using monsters in my pen scales for link material as well. Just 1 is enough. I just need to clear up the board. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow, cool. We have 3 Tri-Brigade spells or traps in the graveyard to make
Here he comes.
Tri-Brigade Arms Bucephalus the Second! Pew, 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 pew. First time in history this man has ever been put on the field. True.
Good for him, finally appearing in any duel, in any form.
Alright, Dandelion summons. We're going to get Ponix. Ponix is going to get us a card. Dandelion is going to get us a card. Fire King Sanctuary is activated. Play Fire King Island because of it. We're going to play Hyacinth. We're going to link 3 into Tryhards. Oh, it's still unaffected. It just can't use its other effect, but it doesn't matter because we don't have any Scare Claws anyway. And all of our monsters are links. Okay, Garunik's effect will activate. Kieran's effect will activate. Pop in the Bearbrum. Summon the Garuniks. Revolt activate. Or get Revolt with Bearbrum. Put back the Cull. Garunix's effect will destroy Arvada from deck. Okay, so we have 2 Spell Trap Negates from Hylianthus. 2 more from Grafted Heart. Protection from Destruction from it 2. Try Hard for Baguska Light. And Bucephalus for existing. Then later we can make Hyang Garunix. Clean up the board, funnily enough. Making way for Revolt. Tryhard and Helianthus are both protected from a board wipe. That's a big combo.
That's a fine combo, if I may say so myself.
And I think you can, because it's pretty big. Alrighty, well, that was a horrifying display of power. Um, it might be time for the Nova scale, unless there's anything that I'm missing.
Well, not really. You also see the other few cards that we unable to like look into currently.
Mm.
There's Azalea, there's Grafted Heart, and the Return Call. In short, like Return Call is a monster negate that's like return your opponent cards, but if they are using effect of spellcaster monster, they are called, they are killed, they are removed from this existence. Instead,
Be gone.
be gone. And
Okay, so
Grafted
that's a monster
Heart
effect.
is a Grafted Heart is it was I was written it in it was grafted hands. It was like magician left hand and right hand, but it's not cool enough. So it's a heart now. It's also related to the lore about Helianthus was experimented by by forcefully grafted a heart of a human mage into her. That is
Hmm.
why she is able to to manipulate mana in such a way that is extremely powerful. But yeah, that is all I think. Oh, and like Azalea is like another member. I was making her as well. It's another Bailings. It's another pumped up Bailings. It if get like just the worst hand possible, you can summon Azalea using one. Oh, well, why the using one. Sorry, it's the summon requirement is a bit off. You summon her, grab like either a pendulum monster or like a spell trap, and then you go from there. It's a way to like if you get like the worst hand possible, you have something to do at least.
Yeah, it makes all of your tri-type monsters a way to get into a card that helps you back in the game.
Yep.
Heck, specifically, it gets you your scales because it gets you a continuous spell or trap card. It gets you Otherworlder's Pendulum. That's combo right there.
Yes.
Alrighty. Well, some pretty good stuff. Then I'll go ahead and crack out that Nova scale then.
Correct.
Okay, so novelty. New archetype, but we are dealing in a lot of the tri-type umbrella here. We're drawing from that zone, but this is now in the context of Pendulum, which I don't think we've seen in the tri-type roster ever.
Yes.
We are
Oh, and also, sorry. Do you know why I specifically make it spellcaster xenophobic?
because of the story, right?
Yes, and also some of the most powerful pendulum supports are all spellcasters. Beyond the
Okay.
pendulum, exceed the pendulum, astral graph. So it's also a way to like balance these little gugglers out.
Okay, all right. That's actually really clever. Good thinking on that.
Yeah.
Okay, so where was I? We were on tri-types. Tri-types aren't usually pendulums. We are aping a lot of the spell counter infrastructure as well to make our cards work. We're kind of doing the same stuff as all the Endymion stuff does. Um I think the way it's being used though is unique enough to say that we're operating on like a 3 in novelty. It's familiar elements that are being mixed together in a wild way that we've never seen before. So that's a 3 in novelty. Fairly unique stuff going on here.
Yippee!
Objectivity. So we have given ourselves a lot of restrictions here. Like you just pointed out, thank you very much for that. It's a pendulum deck that cannot rely on spellcasters to get the job done. And if we want to get the full power out of it, we can only just play tri-types. Nothing else.
No, no,
No
no.
secret village shenanigans. No No generic extra deck staples. It's tri-types or bust. So
Pretty much.
that means we have to look at what we get out of it for doing that. We do get some pretty powerful things. The Endymion style scales, using those as a way to catapult cards onto the field is pretty strong. And as we saw just now, it does mix well with a bunch of other tri-type decks. We didn't see the full extent of what it can do with Tri-Brigade, but it very easily works with things like Fire King. Or we didn't get to see how it worked with Scareclaw fully, but we saw how it worked with Tri-Brigades. We saw how it worked with Fire King. Very good stuff. Very powerful stuff. You're setting up, what? It was like at least 4 spell and trap negates in total. You have destruction protection. A lot of good stuff going on here.
Yeah, and like a board wipe if things go awry.
And we have Helion breaking the rules of cards that cannot be responded to. Which is very interesting.
Yeah. I basically, looking back at my Netlord cards, I looked at the Netlord redaction and Tungus Gas effect and like, all right, let's do a round 2, baby.
Baby! I am going to probably be a little baby about this, but I am going to give it a 4 in objectivity. Because I worry about what our power levels are going to be like on this one. I think Helion is pretty strong all the way off the bat. I think that Banner of the Week having an applied effect that gives you, as the player, an activated effect is kind of wild. And it can search any of the tri-types, not just like under a certain level threshold, which means we can send like 8 spells and traps directly from deck to graveyard to get things like the new Garunix, which I'm sure is going to cause some kind of goofy deck thinning stuff. Also, Blue Bandana Jake, thank you so much for rating in. How you doing, Raiders? How'd your stream go? So yeah, really powerful. I don't want to say this is going to absolutely destroy the game if it ever gets released, but I am a little worried about what it can do to the meta. So I'm just gonna give it a 4 because I think it's gonna be really, really powerful.
That's genuinely fair enough, honestly. I was expecting you to give me lower because this thing is super synergistic with Thunder.
Well, Flunder will keep you from special summoning.
No, the banner, just the banner.
Well, they're already using Time Tearing Morganite anyway.
Yeah, Time Tearing, and then this, and then you get to basically you can able to summon 3 times. That's one of the I've tested this with my friends, and that's one of their super funny little thing that they do is they test dual me with Flunder. They put Banners of the Week in their deck because they're evil, and they just show that like, oh yeah, you can summon 3 times, you can make Snowball, you can finally use Snowball, and then you summon as well the Dark Seymour. It's insane.
I'm gonna trust that you, like you said, you've done some testing. I feel like there's like diminishing returns, but Konami, if you want to print Monarchos and prove me wrong, don't, please. All right, we're gonna do emo, but I gotta get going. All right, take care, Blue Bandana. Have yourself an excellent one. Thank you for sending me all of your people. I will make sure that they are returned to you in pristine condition. I'm actually lying, everyone. Go get your hands in the cookie jar. Go ahead. Just grab a little snack while Jake's not looking. It's fine. I'm the cool streamer. So, versatility. Now, when you go as far as saying I'm only allowed to use 3 types, the versatility by itself is going to be low. That being said, the tri-types do encompass a ton of themes. Like you said, Flu. You've already shown Fire King, Tri-Brigade, Scareclaw. Zodiac's working here. Freaking Harpy's working here. There's so many different themes that you can still play under Artifact, and you get a bunch of really good bonuses. So I gotta give it a 2 in versatility. You can play with any of the. Don't you say that, Beelzebub. Put that back. Delete that comment. Put it away.
Sure, Ojama, why not?
No, you don't encourage them on this one. Mods, destroy that comment. Crush it. Anyway, so it's more versatile than it might seem. It's not gonna be played in everything, but there's still a ton of things that this can't get played. So that's getting it 2 in versatility.
That's fair. Absolutely very fair enough.
And then lastly, awesomeness. I think you did a really cool thing, not just with the mechanics of the cards, but also how you used the story to back up and enrich a lot of the choices that were made here. I didn't even think about the fact that the spellcaster limit was ever like mechanically going to matter. I just felt like that was purely because of the story. And if I can get that absorbed in that, I think that's there was clearly a lot of thought that went into that and a lot of care. I gotta give it a 5. I really respect what you did with all of these. They're really good stuff.
Hell yeah. Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you for sharing. So, Monarchos, 14 on the scale. Oh, and the thing that I forgot to mention, they're kobolds, right?
They're kobolds, yes.
And kobolds are just goblins, but slightly to the left. And goblins are awesome, so of course they're getting a 5.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty, well, Millennia, thank
Little
you so much.
Gungler solidarity.
Sorry, say again?
Little Gungler solidarity.
Little Gungler solidarity!
Yeah!
But not with Ojamas. Those ones suck.
Oh, that's fair enough. Yeah.
Alright. Well, thank you again for showing up and sharing these, Millennia. I hope you have yourself a good new year, and I will talk to you later, alright?
Yeah. Have a good New Year as well, and Merry Crimbles.
Merry Crimbles!
Merry Crimbles.
Alrighty. Okay, good. I'm glad that we were able to get Millennia in on this one today. Very good. And so that does it for today's segment. We're going to be picking this up again next week in the new year so we can cover everyone else's submissions. We're going to have a lot more days, Thursday through Sunday. You know the deal. Zeldraka Sonova for my next month's cards, World Legacy or Xenoblade 1? World Legacy. I wouldn't say no to either, but if you're making me pick, I'm picking World Legacy. So yeah, if you would like to see more custom card content coming up this next weekend, make sure you hit that follow button so that you can come by for it. These come in from my patrons, and we get to see all their really cool ideas. I know that custom cards get a bad rap because you can put whatever you want on a custom and put it out there, but I assure you that, like, even when my patrons submit cards that are ridiculously powerful, there's still really cool ideas and thought processes behind them that I love exploring. It's really cool. So definitely tune in for that. Tuesday, we're going to be doing Prague polls. We'll be doing that. I'm tomorrow from Nakoma. Oh no, Blitz, we're not doing one tomorrow. We're the Sunday day. That's next Sunday. We finished all this one for this weekend. I got to keep my schedule open this weekend, so it's gonna be next Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Those are all the custom days. If you would like to help support the channel in other ways, if you enjoyed what you saw here, then I encourage you to click all these links that are here, all these wonderful links. My Discord is there for if you want to hang out with the community. There is a section, it's a free Discord to join, and if you want to just talk about custom cards, you can just do that there for free. You don't got to sign up for anything. If you want to see my Twitter, where I make my inane ramblings, you can go there. That's also where I do a lot of my announcements, so if you want to keep up with things, it's a great place to keep in touch with that. YouTube, that's where I post all of my main content. Zephyr Explained just went up yesterday, and it is the maddest I have been in an archetype in a long while. You don't want to miss it. And, of course, my Patreon. That is the best way to help create supporters, not just me, but any supporter that you enjoy. Patreon is a great way to ensure that they have a steady income that is not subject to the whims of an algorithm. We can make stuff that you like more if we don't have to worry about the ads paying us a certain amount. This gets a little more rough at the beginning of a new year because ad revenue takes a hard dip. So if there's anyone that you enjoy who makes stuff, make sure to double check their Patreon. And if you still have a couple bucks left over that you can throw their way, I'd highly recommend helping them out with that one. And of course, I include myself. I say others because I want to seem a little nicer, but really, if you wouldn't mind, it helps me out a lot. That's everything I have for today. You know, to come back on Tuesday for Prog Polls. Let's go ahead and see who else is stremming. Who's stremming? Who's doing some stuff? No. We don't raid Farfa very much. Let's raid Farfa. Let's raid the Farfinator. Oh, and they've got the NordVPN sponsorship going on. Well, we have to send over for that one. Alrighty, we'll go ahead and get that set up there. All right. Folks, thank you all once again for stopping by. I will see all of you this coming Tuesday and on the channel. And of course, if I do not see you until then take care and have yourself a wonderful new year. Bye-bye.